I am gratitude. I am committed. I am love. I am energy. I am honesty. I am vision. I am independent. I am collaborative. I am a person who follows through. I am. Welcome to the 100-Year Lifestyle Podcast, dedicated to you and your loved ones living at 100% for 100 years and beyond. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Plasker. Welcome, everybody, to the 100-Year Lifestyle Podcast. Dr. Eric Plasker here, and yes, we are transforming health and longevity worldwide so that you and your loved ones can live and enjoy 100% for 100 years and beyond. And we're going to talk about the Personal Affirmation Creator. We are going to help you define yourself with clarity for the next phase of your life, not letting the rest of the world determine who you are, but you deciding who you choose to be in this moment right now and affirming that over time so that you can go from where you are to where you want to be, live your best life every single day, your ideal 100-year lifestyle. And hey, affirmations are really important because you affirm to yourself what you stand for. You affirm to yourself who you are, what you're good at, what you offer, what your job is, what your role is, what your attitude is, what your energy level is like, what your relationships are going to be like. You define yourself through your affirmations. That's why we call this the Personal Affirmation Creator. And there's an exercise that I'm going to take you through so you can listen, obviously, while you're driving. You could write this down on a piece of paper and write down all the things that we're going to go over with you. There's a couple of exercises where you'll have the opportunity to do that. And then over the course of maybe a week or two, you will really nail down who you choose to be in this moment, from this moment forward into the future, taking your new self out into the world, letting people know what you stand for through your actions, through your attitudes, how you carry yourself, because you have defined yourself with clarity through this Personal Affirmation Creator. People ask me all the time, I've given this talk to doctors, to companies, corporations, CEOs, associations, organizations, giving this talk and versions of this talk. And people ask me, why affirmations? This Affirmation Creator helps you connect to your why, what's important to you, what you stand for. It helps you become aware of your thoughts about yourself and your vision that you have for your own life. There are so many of us, we have in our head all these things, these ideas about who we want to be, what we want to stand for, what's important to us. We never write them down. We don't verbalize them. So when all of a sudden, somebody asks us, we try to verbalize it, but it doesn't come out the way that we thought it was going to come out because we really don't have the clarity. We have done this speaker training for companies, organizations, and doctors around the world called Speak Up and Lead, where we have helped people find their voice. And it is universally true that people struggle with the fact that if they try to think themselves to being a good speaker instead of speaking their way to becoming a good speaker. And you cannot think your way there. You have to speak your way there. The same is true with affirmations. As you define yourself, it becomes very important to verbalize it. It becomes very important to write it down so that you become aware of your thoughts about yourself and you really connect to your own personal vision. This process will help you identify desired areas of personal growth. Some of them you already know you want to pursue. Some of them you're going to discover through this process, and you'll be like, man, I never even thought that was going to be important to me. And you're going to find yourself in this process. So exciting. Another reason, you're going to identify skills that you want to develop. You'll realize when you define yourself, not letting everybody else define you for you, but you define yourself, you'll realize, you know what, if this is truly what I'm going to stand for and who I want to be, there are skills I need to develop. There are areas that I need to grow. You'll realize through this process that it will help you stay grounded during good times and challenges. Both become important because sometimes when times get bad, times get tough, you lose your way, and times get great and you lose your way because, hey, things are so good that you become somebody that you didn't want to be or didn't think that you would ever become, because money changes you, success changes you, and you don't want it to change you. You want to stay the same person that you like yourself, no matter what the times are, good and bad times, no matter what the challenges are. Next, it will accelerate your journey towards reaching your goals. The more clarity you have about yourself, you will accelerate your journey, no question about it. And again, defining yourself is so important rather than have others define you, which is so all too common in this social media wacky world that we live in. People think they know you, but they don't know you. You think you know you, but you don't know you. We want you to get to know yourself, and this affirmation creator will absolutely make a difference. It'll train you to think like a champion, to be the best version of yourself. Let's go through this process. It's a simple exercise. It is going to require a lot of thought on your part, writing down some things. The first part of this exercise, what we want you to do on a piece of paper, we want you to write down on the left-hand side of the piece of paper on the top, attitudes and characteristics that repel. And on the right-hand side, attitudes and characteristics that attract. Repelling and attracting, what are we repelling and attracting? Success, health, happiness, fulfillment. These are the things that we're looking to attract. These are the things that we certainly don't want to repel. It is important, though, if you want to think like a champion, if you want to think like a highly successful, happy, fulfilled type of a person, that you become aware of both sides of the spectrum so that you can make choices in the moment and define yourself with these attitudes and characteristics that attract. So we're going to look at both sides right now through this process. And what I want you to do is you put the attitudes that attract and the characteristics that attract. That goes on the right-hand side. The left-hand side of the top of the page is attitudes and characteristics that repel. Put a line down the middle. And let's start with identifying a couple of the attitudes and characteristics that repel. First, negativity. Have you ever met a negative Nelly that they could predict the worst storm in every situation? They could find all the bad and everything good. They could find every needle in every haystack, and they could not see the forest at all. They'll only see the dead tree that's right in front of them. Listen, negativity is an attitude and a characteristic that repels. What about anger? Some people, you see that life has been hard on them. They're angry all the time about everything. Everything that happens makes them angry. They could have a drive to the office that's only 10 minutes away, or a drive to a store that's only 10 minutes away, and along the way they saw every bad driver, every bad person, every red light, even if they only had one along the way. But they find them because they are angry and they're mad about it because of the way that it slowed them down, and they're a victim. That's another attitude, characteristic that is very repelling. It will not get you ahead in life. It will not help you create and live your ideal 100-year lifestyle. You may get to 100, but you'll be alone because nobody will want to be around you because you're so negative and angry and repelling. Next, neediness. Oh, I need, it's just not enough. Oh my God. Whining. It's another attitude and characteristic that is very repelling, especially as time goes on in life. It can be very repelling to have that attitude of neediness. What about narcissism? People that think the whole world revolves around them, that it's all about them all the time. This is a major issue that I believe in many ways we have in our culture today because of the social media revolution and everybody striving to get the next like on Facebook or the next like on Instagram or to have the next big idea. And so they work so hard at it. They want it to be all about them that they're never really focused on that idea. They're just focused on themselves. And so we want you to have not a narcissistic attitude, not negativity, because what are some of the attitudes that attract and the characteristics that do attract success, health, happiness, and fulfillment? Well, what about having vision? That is certainly appealing, to have a long-term vision for your life, a vision that is inspiring others, inspirational. That's another attitude and characteristic that is attractive. What about following through on the things that you say that you're going to do? That is very attractive, very different than the people that always drop the ball. If you have an attitude and a characteristic where you always drop the ball, well, don't give it to John, don't give it to Mary, man, they always drop the ball. Well, it's hard to get ahead. It's hard to enjoy your life. It's hard to surround yourself with good people. It's hard to have fulfilling, meaningful relationships if you're always dropping the ball, if you're unreliable, which is another attitude and characteristic that is repelling. On the other side, attitudes that attract, attitudes of gratitude, not necessarily accepting it as all that there is in the world, but that for every little thing you're grateful, truly grateful for the forest, for the trees, for the air that you breathe, for the water, for the talents that you have, for the health that you have, for this day that you're living in, for the ability to listen to a podcast like this that is hopefully empowering you to be the best version of yourself. Attitude, great attitude that is attractive, is being committed, being loving, is a great attitude, doing things out of love, being in service. One of my favorite affirmations, and I look at it as an affirmation. I do a lot of work with Life University, and they have a lasting purpose, which is to give, to love, to serve, and to do. What an affirmation to really, truly come from that place, giving, loving, and serving out of abundance. Much different than being needy or not giving, being a taker, being somebody that is always taking everywhere they go, not contributing, not giving back, but always wanting to suck the life out of people so that you can be fulfilled for yourself. Come on, we don't want that attitude. That's repelling. Having integrity, like we talked about. When you look at this list, you have on the left side all these attitudes and characteristics that are repelling. On the right side, all the attitudes and characteristics that are attractive. And what I want you to do is I want you to think about this list. I want you to carry it with you over a period of time, maybe carrying it with you for the next 3 to 5 to 7 days. And everywhere you go and in every situation that you're in, I want you to become aware, to be conscious of all of these different attitudes that you see out in the world. Being conscious is really important. You'll meet people that, wow, they may be your favorite people, and then you'll realize, wow, they were one of my favorite people because every time we went to the bar, they made me laugh because they were talking bad about all these other people, and we just sat around drinking, putting everybody down all the time. Wow, that is not the attitude that I want for my ideal 100-year lifestyle. That is not what I want to be. What I want to be is I want to be humorous, but in a positive way, in an optimistic way, because humor, and from my perspective, is an attitude and a characteristic. Somebody that could find humor in situations, that's a great attitude. It's a great, attractive way to be. When you carry this around with you, you're going to notice people that truly are optimistic. Maybe they don't have the most charismatic personality, but what you like about their attitude and characteristic is they're reliable. They're trustworthy. You can count on them. They always show up. They do what they say they're going to do. These are great attitudes and characteristics that are attractive, that will help build a very good, exciting, fruitful, rewarding life. As you go throughout the 3, 5, 7 days, however long you want to do it, let's say 7 days, fill out this list. You build it out with attitudes that repel on the left, the ones that you see, that you notice, people that are always rushing, pushy. Oh, I don't like that attitude. That's not a characteristic for me. People that are patient, people that are focused, people that get things done, people that are completing things. Wow, that's a great attitude and characteristic. And you'll see these out in the world. And when you take this list out in the world, you'll be excited because you'll become aware of both sides in totality so that you can choose who you want to be moving forward, which is the next phase of this exercise. So at the end of 7 days, what you're going to do is you're going to have this list on the left, attitudes that repel, list on the right, attitudes and characteristics that attract. And here's what I want you to do. Cross through the attitudes that attract on the right side, cross through those words, and above it, I want you to write in all caps, I am. You're going to write, I am, those powerful words, I am, above attitudes that attract. And then you're going to look at your list on the right, the attitudes and characteristics that attract, and you're going to say, I am trustworthy. I am, in front of every one of these words, I am gratitude. I am committed. I am love. I am energy. I am honesty. I am vision. I am independent. I am collaborative. I am a person who follows through. I am. And you're going to have a list, hopefully on the right-hand side. I don't know, maybe it'll be 30, 40, 50 words that you'll go through, and you'll look at this list, and when you go through this list on the right-hand side, you'll review it for 3 to 5 days saying the word I am. It'll raise your personal awareness. You'll watch yourself like you're watching a movie, and you'll realize at this point that now you say, okay, what are the most meaningful words on this list for me personally? And you may say, you know what? I am a leader. Yes, I am leadership. I am integrity. I am love. And you'll start to circle these most meaningful words that you like, that resonate with you. I am committed. And then you'll say, okay, you know what? I had honesty and integrity on this list. So you know what? I don't need both of those on this list. They're kind of the same thing, and they are the same thing. So you start to eliminate some of those words from what you say because you're duplicating what you say, and then you'll hone it down. And then what you'll do is you'll circle those most meaningful words, and you'll create a first draft of a personal affirmation. Once you do that, see it may be something like this. I am a dynamic, loving, caring person, man, woman, who is committed to being the best leader for myself, my family, my team, my community. I am a focused, purposeful doctor, business person, parent, whatever it is, dedicated to helping every individual reach their potential throughout life. I am a sharp, disciplined, creative person who cares for the health of individuals. It could be, it's yours, it's not mine. You're going to create it for yourself. I am a happy, loving, caring person choosing to live a simple, healthy life. That could be the personal affirmation that you create as your first draft. And then what you'll do is, once you circle those meaningful words, you create your first draft, and then you'll refine it and review it and clarify it. You'll refine it again, review it, and clarify it again. And you'll write it out. You'll type it out. You'll carry it with you. You'll read it every day, a couple of times a day. And then when you do that a couple of different times a day, every day, you'll start to hone it down even more. And then you'll hone it down even more. And then you'll realize that after a while, maybe after a week or two or three and a couple of revisions, you will get it down to a very, very, very simple statement. And it may be as simple as some of the ones that I just read to you, or it may be as simple as, I am a dedicated, committing, loving man. I am an inspirational leader for my community. Whatever it is for you, I am a powerful, loving, unconditional leader. I am a person of integrity who cares about the world and cares about whatever. It's yours. I don't want to put it in a box for you. It's yours. So what's important here with this personal affirmation creator is that you realize that this is a process. This is a journey. This is not a destination. And you can repeat this process every single quarter if you want. You could repeat it every month. You could listen to this every month and then refresh it every month. You could refresh it every quarter. You could refresh it every year so that you decide who you choose to be in every given moment in time. And remember, it is a journey, not a destination. And what's important is that as you go through this process, you will constantly be raising your personal awareness. Watch yourself, like we talk about, watch yourself like you're watching a movie so that you can be aware of how you're being out in the world and become aware of the narcissistic tendencies that so many people have about doing it just for them. We have a saying that a lot of our doctors who we take care of, our affiliate doctors, our chiropractors out in the world, and other healthcare providers and companies and organizations that we work with, where we say, hey, listen, it is, not, about you. I love that statement. It is, not, about you. Meaning it is about you because you have to do your role, but it's not about you. It's about being a part of a community. It's about being a part of the world, about wanting to make a difference. So it is about you. You got to do your part, but it's not about you. Whatever you're committed to, make it bigger than you. Take your personal responsibility. That's the part that is about you, but it's not about you. Commit yourself to something bigger than yourself. And then along the way, you fill in any gaps with additional insights and experiences that you have along the way. Because then what happens as you define yourself in this way, you then take your new self out for a test drive. We call it taking your innate intelligence, your innate, out for a test drive. You test yourself out in the world, and the world gives you feedback. And then you make yourself better every single day by what you learn from the best version of yourself out in the world. You'll see what other new skills you need to develop, new ways of being that you need to work on, new characteristics that you want to incorporate into your personal affirmation. That's why it's not static. Some of you created an affirmation maybe 3, 5, 7, 10, 20 years ago, and you haven't revisited it. Well, we want you to revisit it and do it on a regular basis. So go through this exercise. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the self-awareness that you have. Set goals for yourself that are related to the new affirmations that you create, and then keep yourself fresh, keep your affirmation fresh. on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, a yearly basis, every 3 years, whatever the time frame is that you feel like you need to reconnect with yourself. Take the time to do it. And remember that it's a journey, it's not a destination. And as the world changes and as you change in the world, as your experiences change you out in the world, that you keep yourself conscious and keep yourself fresh by defining yourself through this personal affirmation creator, always taking the best version of yourself out in the world, living your ideal 100-year lifestyle. So we'd love to hear from you. If you want to share your affirmations with us, send them to my100@100yearlifestyle.com. You can email us. You can post them on our social media pages. You can share them on our social media pages. We'd love for you to do that. If you want to share them in a review of this podcast and say, hey, you know what, I did my personal affirmation creator and I got this out of it. Thank you so much. If you want to share that, we'd love to see it. And we'd love to share this life with you so that we build a community together of people functioning at their highest level for a lifetime as we transform health and longevity worldwide so that you and your loved ones, all of us, our communities, functioning, living at 100% for 100 years and beyond. Thanks so much for being with us today, for listening. Thank you so much for joining us on the 100-Year Lifestyle Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have topics that you want us to cover, people you want us to interview, maybe you have some stories that you want to share, stories of yourself, loved ones, people in your life, we would love to hear from you and share your story. Please email us at my100@100yearlifestyle.com. And remember, nobody wants to get to 100 or even 50, 60, or 70 for that matter, crippled, broke, and alone. So please share the 100-Year Lifestyle, all of our podcasts, social media pages, website with your family, friends, and coworkers so they can take this journey with you. And until next time, adjust your lifestyle. Live your best life today and every day on the road to a sensational century.